Hey class, happy Friday. I just wanted to give you a real quick video on a thought that I've had recently. I've talked a little bit about, or I will be talking, about valid resources that you would want to look for in your article selection as you prepare to, once you've identified your topic and are starting to look for articles. One of the things that I've said is that you should avoid newsletters because they're not considered scholarly. But I got a newsletter in the mail, and that we subscribed to, and I was reading through it, and I thought, well, this isn't really necessarily a scholarly source, but it's a really good place to start. It's kind of like Wikipedia. You wouldn't want to use Wikipedia as your primary source, but Wikipedia cites a lot of valid resources. And as I was reading through this newsletter, this is the teaching professor. This is from Magna Publications, and Magna is a very well-respected publisher. They publish a lot of very high-quality scholarly articles, journals and such. And so Magna Publications is certainly a valid resource. And as I was reading through these articles, and they're basically summaries. They're summaries of research that people have submitted to be reviewed. And so as an example, here's an article referring to what students consider to be fair, what their perceptions are relating to fairness in a course. And it goes through a whole bunch of information that is basically a summary of research. Now, I wouldn't quote this as a primary scholarly source, but this is leading me to that source. So in this case, this article about fairness in the course is referring to some research that was done. So you could use this to lead you to a valid resource. I just want to make that clarification that a newsletter could lead you to a valid resource, even though the newsletter itself might not necessarily be considered a scholarly resource. So just something to think about, not just with newsletters, but with any resource you find. It might not on its own be considered scholarly, but it could lead you to something that is scholarly. So keep that in mind as you start looking for your resources in a couple of weeks. So best wishes and have a good weekend.